So I'm completely convinced at this point in my life that virtually nobody formulates their beliefs on the basis of evidence and then weighs their beliefs out in proportion to the evidence, right? We don't calibrate our beliefs to the evidence. What we do is we want to belong, we want to be loved more than that's one of the few things we want more than to be right. I think it was Oscar Wilde who said, the only thing people like more than sex and money is praise and recognition. So I think people want to belong to a community, but more than that, people believe things because their moral mind has overwritten their rational mind. So they'll look to their landscape of beliefs. It's called an epistemic landscape. They'll look to like reasons they have for believing things. They'll start with a moral impulse and they'll pick from their landscape. But the way they pick from the landscape is moral. It's not epistemic. It's not on the basis of evidence. It's on the basis of, Reed and I go around the world. I'm a good person. Good people believe this. Therefore, I believe this. So anything with an identity level salience is like a toxin to you thinking clearly about things.
Do you think that there's a way to sort of flip that on its head such that we can live better lives in the moment by thinking differently about how we formulate our beliefs?
Yeah, I do. I think it's a tremendous amount of work because you have to cultivate, you have to habituate certain habits of thought, certain patterns. Like you have to habituate, oh, how could I be wrong about that? So good, clear thinking is almost never about a skill set. It's never about explanation or can I make inferences or can I analyze some data set. It's never about that. It's about a disposition, an attitudinal disposition people have towards certain conclusions and stances in the world. And it's very, very difficult for people who don't possess the attitudinal disposition to somehow acquire the disposition. So we're always constantly fighting. God, we're just fighting everything. We're fighting our communities of belief. We're fighting our feelings of wanting to belong. We're fighting our feelings of morality, what we think makes us a good person. We're fighting any now in particular in the last few years, we're fighting our identity. Oh, I'm this, I believe this. It's thinking well is extraordinarily difficult.
Yeah, and it's so much tied with the communities that we find ourselves in, isn't it? So, such that you might feel ostracized if you didn't believe absolutely everything that the people in your community believe. Do you think you would live a better life if you were more honest about the nuance in things that you believe?
Me?
All of us.
I think it's Socrates' question. I think it depends on what kind of life you want to lead. I mean, I personally believe that there are certain lives to lead that are better than other lives. I did my dissertation many years ago in the prisons, and I work with prison inmates to help them increase their moral reasoning about things. And when you ask that, and you can read this, these conversations are published. When I would ask them things like, "Oh, is one type of life better to lead than another?" Universally, they would say no. But just a few targeted. This stuff is really not that difficult to do. It's difficult to become really good at, but it's not difficult to do. You just have to figure out what is the relationship between belief and morality, and once you figure out that. All you need to do is ask the most important question you can ever ask yourself or anybody else in your whole life. How could I be wrong about that? How could I be wrong about that? And once you've done that, if you habituate that on yourself, it's a kind of way of imposing a structure upon yourself. It's like Popper calls it falsifiability. So you're not looking to your landscape to find things you believe and justify it. You're trying to figure out, is this true? How can I be less wrong more often? And again, it's just, what would it take for me to change my mind about that? It's just such a great question. And almost nobody asks it. People ask the other question. There's nothing wrong with the question at all, but why do you believe that? And so consequently, people talk themselves into believing things as opposed to being more humble about what it is that they think that they know. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah. We've been hanging out for a couple of days since we've been in New York.
Yeah.
You strike me as the kind of person who, I don't know how else to put this. You don't give a fuck about anyone.
I don't know if that's.
You will align yourself. You will stick to your beliefs, and you strike me as the kind of person who would be happy to be ostracized for your beliefs, rather than hold beliefs that felt untrue to you.
Aristotle writes about friendship, and one of the things that's so important in relationships And the thing that has been driven home to me in my life, and I wish I could tell young people this, that the thing that has really been driven home to me is that if you live your life and you lie, or you're not completely transparent in your life, the consequence of that is that nobody will really know who you are. They'll only know what you say. They'll know something else. So you'll never develop an authentic relationship with anybody. And if you look at the conversations and studies and data of people on their deathbed, it's never like, oh man, I should have worked harder. No, it's like your life has meaning for the relationships you have and the communities you've built, and all of the, I just think that we've misconstrued the nature of the problem from education beyond. It's not like you don't teach people self-esteem. Aristotle talks about this as well. You get self-esteem as a byproduct of something, musical, violin, or helping patients, or whatever it is. But there's something about knowing who loves you and why they actually love you. So the people in my life, I mean, they've all been kind of pre-culled, right? So I know the people in my life love me. I know that they care about me. And I think that's the other thing. It's like, whose voice doesn't matter? Just because you have a platform or what have you, it doesn't like, do you care about someone? Do they know you for who you are, and do you know them for who they are? And if that's in place, then those authentic you can have a good life. You can have authentic relationships with people. But we're so busy worrying about, oh, this person thinks this, and who gives a fuck what anybody thinks? I mean, if you're worried about what people think, that is a recipe to immiserate yourself emotionally. It is a recipe for you to be ultimately lonely in your life. You have to disabuse yourself of this notion. That's my thought.
Yeah, that's the vibe I get from you. And also part of that is like having, that wasn't a joke, but thank you. I'll take the laugh.
Can I have some water? I want to knock over the mic. Yeah.
Having uncomfortable conversations is one thing I've struggled with over the course of my life with loved ones and the people, whose opinion does matter to you.
Yeah.
And, like sometimes food is about your waters there.
Cool, thanks.
They always say like the food people like the most is comfort food. But sometimes the conversations that you have with loved ones have to be uncomfortable conversations. Is life more about comfort or discomfort?
Again, it depends what kind of life you want to lead. I think it was Thomas Sowell who said, people conflate the terms niceness and kindness. If you want to be, I think it was Sowell said, if you want to be nice to someone, tell them what they want to hear. If you want to be kind to someone, tell them what's true. So we live in a deficit of kindness and a surfeit of niceness. And I'd much rather the people with whom I have authentic relationships are kind to me rather than nice to me. I mean, I don't want them to be, treat me like a dick, but I always want them to be honest and forthright with me. If you're not forthright with someone, you don't have a real relationship with them.